Let's break down the lighting of this photograph you see on screen today. It's a little bit tricky, but it's a little bit easy too. I'm going to break it down for you. And this is the photograph that we voted. 4 of the 3 options. But who is we? We is a Visual Business Academy. That's called VBA. That's my private Discord community where I help other creatives like yourself, photographers, videographers, visual artists in your business. And I protect you from the crazy internet, and I give you free workshops in there and free templates and free downloads and free infographics and free community support. All right, so that's linked down below. But we voted on a photograph and we have 3 options, as I already said. And I want to break this down into 3 sections of this video. Number 1, we're going to reverse engineer it. And I do this in every single photograph. There's actually a great video I have right here on screen that tells you the story, the genesis of how I learned lighting. And then we're going to go into additional tips that I think they had on camera that you really need to know about. And then number 3, we're going to be talking about the post-production of it. But let's move this rather quick. Number 1, you see on screen, I'm going to break it down where the arrow is. Face is not too bright, it's kind of flat, so I'm going to assume that they don't really have a key light, and the key light is actually behind them, and then they're using a bounce because it's a flatter image, and that's how I would light this photograph. And I don't see, if there was a light there, I would see a little bit more gradient between the shadow and the light. The second tip that I see is that the back of the hair is a little bit more blown out than the other side. So now I'm wondering, okay, so there's probably 2 lights back there. Is one of them at a weaker level and one of them is stronger, or is one further away? Don't know, but that's a factor I'm going to put in. All of these little pieces together is going to help us paint a picture to get really close to them. So let's go to the third one, the blazer. Now I'm looking at my computer right here. So if you see me looking down, it is a little bit blown out, but it's equally as strong on both sides. So now I'm thinking, wait a minute, if the hair is stronger on one side and not the other, why is the blazer not that way? So something I need to consider, maybe it's a light position, or maybe it's a little bit of dodge and burn in Photoshop. Let's go to the point number 4 that I have, and there's a glow around the entire body. I think there's 2 things there to account for it, and I'll discuss that in a second. But there's a glow that is on camera, and then there's a glow that is in post-production, and we'll discuss that in part 2 and part 3. The next one is that equally bright on both sides are the arms. A bit confused by this, but we're gonna, I have an idea of what kind of lighting setup we'll have, but this again is, you gotta mark up a photograph or take notes on a piece of paper and go, this is what I see. And you use one point to cross-reference check the other point. All right, I'm also going to say that number 6 is, and I didn't write it down on this card, but it's circled, there is a vignette there. The vignette, I would almost guarantee, is in post-production, and the wall not lit up like that, so it's just some fall-off light from the lights. So we have those down. Now I said we're going to go to part 2, which is some extra components. I want to address that glow around the body. The glow around the body, I think, is a factor of 3 different things, okay? So number 1, it's in post-production, but not entirely. You have to give it a little bit, and then in post, you can make it, you can enhance it. I believe that that's like the best way to do it. But how did they get that little glow in camera? 2 things. Number 1, I believe that the room has a lot of haze. Little hazer is going to go really far for art department. And if you think about it, this model is, the image is a little bit softer. The lines are a little bit softer. The air, you can actually see it. You can get a sense of it. It's not so clean. That is a hazer. Okay, and so that hazer also creates a softer glow around the lighting. It expands the lighting, it softens the lighting. So I would use a hazer if I was there. But then the other thing too is that I would add probably a ProMist filter, and that diffusion ProMist filter, it would be maybe even a, I would say maybe even a half stop. Okay, that's going to soften the image a little bit more. That's also going to give it a little bit of that glow around the edges. And I forgot the name off the top of my head, but God knows somebody is going to correct me in the comments. So put them in the comments, that word that I'm thinking of, please. Between those 2, now we have a built-in glow around the image that you're not going to see in our photo rendering because I don't have those with me inside of the software. And then finally, we're going to take that in post and then enhance it. The other thing that I want to point out is that the hair on the model is big. It's like really, really big, and it's fine hair, and it's very blonde hair. So that's gonna blow out into that light, and it's gonna seem like it's a much bigger glow. But our model inside of the 3D render looks a lot more like Martha Stewart than a model. Martha Stewart is a beautiful woman. I respect what she's done, but come on. She looks like Martha Stewart, okay? The other thing that I want to say is that it seems like some of the material on the blazer that she is wearing seems to be a bit sheer, and then that means that the light isn't bouncing from it, isn't going around it. The light is actually going through it, and that helps enhance that glow also. And finally, we're going to build this out. So let's get started. So we are starting in a room, and this is how I'll do it. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this room out. The model, you are not it. So we have the model inside of the room. I'll be going in and out full screen to little circles in the corners so I can show you everything. On the right side up here is the camera view. We have a simulation of the room. On the bottom, I'm gonna pick my lighting. Now, here's what I think is happening, okay? I'm gonna go through them. Like, is it a speed light? Is it continuous light? Is it, a different thing? So I'm going to go into a speed light, and I'm gonna use a backlight reflector, and let's just see. Now that, the camera is here in the corner. Let me move the camera to her. I'm gonna bring the camera down just a little bit, and then we're going to go in closer to her. As this camera is coming through, we see that the back wall is dark. We see a little bit of a light on her right, or her left side, camera right side. And I think that actually might be a light that I would use, and I'm gonna keep it consistent. Remember, our model has bigger hair, finer hair, and that hair, just that light hits the back and it glows. There was a hazer, and there was probably a ProMist filter. That's how I would be doing it. We have a Martha Stewart looking woman, and she actually looks like a Karen, don't she? I'm gonna move these lights until I think that I found something that I like. Now, as far as camera, I'm going to go more of a 5.6. That's just a personal choice. And the reason why I want 5.6 is because I might even go a little bit less. Let's go to a 4.5, is because it creates a bit of it's my mom. I will probably be there about 2 o'clock. So the reason why I'm going a lower f-stop is because I want to increase the possibility of the light back there glowing and it not being in focus. That's why. Now I want to move this out so it's out of the frame on the right side, but knowing that that's also going to get the wall to brighten up a bit, and I'm not sure that I want that. So she might actually move a lot closer. So I can move the light closer to her, and then that way I'm not getting a lot of spill. And so I'm going to move the light further away from the wall just so that there's less of a spill on her. I'm going to go a little bit lower to make her seem taller. And then now this is pretty easy. I would need a little bit more support to her face. So let's go into the helpers. And I have a choice of a smaller, I have a choice of a scrim that's gonna soften the light. Don't know if I want that entirely just yet. Actually, I'm gonna soften the light with the scrim, which was not part of the original plan. I'm gonna assume I have hazer in there. I'm gonna assume I have a ProMist. And then I believe that the light was hitting a little too hard, and I just wanna soften it, just one layer. So we're putting a scrim there. And I like what it's doing here, at least in the 3D version. We wanna bring the camera a bit lower to make her seem taller. And then let's just bring a massive reflector, like a bounce. And the reason why I'm using a white bounce is that I think that a white bounce has a lot more of a softer image, and it has a more even spread, and it has less like that zap, that ting to the light. Photographers will understand what I mean by that thing. And if you don't, put it in the comments, I'll explain it to you and with words instead of that. But now we have, so here's the thing. I'm going to click it and turn off the reflector, okay? So reflector, turned off, look at the preview on the upper right hand side. It's a bit flatter. With a reflector, we have a little bit more light. Now, again, this is not a real human, real scenario, but this gives you an idea. Let me go and do a nice little 360 for you in our room. And this is it from the back. Okay, so let's move a little bit closer. And she is standing in front of a massive reflector. That reflector would be behind the photographer too. It could be at a slight angle. That's entirely up to you, or it could be directly straight on, and depends which way the model is hanging out. Then we have the two lights. Let's move this back a bit, and let's move you down so that it actually hits nicer. And that helps create a bit more of a glow, less harsh shadows back there hitting in the background. And the exact same thing is going to happen to both sides. Now, I could, if I wanted to, increase the lighting on one side, or I can go all the way lower. See what happens? All the way up, all the way down. That, my friend, is your responsibility to figure out, and that's your own unique recipe. Now, why is the image not cool in blue tone like the reference image? So we're going to go into, I think I'm gonna bring you to about 3200. 32 is a bit much. Let's go to like 3500 on Kelvin's on the camera. Now we have a much cooler blue tone. And then I really approve of my, no, you know what? I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna go 3.5 on my f-stop. That blows out the back a bit more even. And then I'm going to take a picture. This image is now going to our third part of the video. It's going to go into post-production. And in post-production, I'm not gonna do post-production on this image because, come on, it's not a real human. But what they did is, this is the recipe, okay? They took this image into Photoshop. They duplicated a layer, so now you have two layers, top and bottom. The top layer is going to get a, now y'all tell me in the comments, is it Gaussian blur or is it Gaussian? One of those two, they put into Gaussian blur, and I think that they did it about 25 to 30% blur. So I can see a rough shape, almost like a nice frosted glass, and then, but it's nice and blurred out. Then I'm going to take that layer and I'm going to change it to a soft or a screen on Photoshop. And it's going to create like a really hyper saturated top layer, but you're going to see a bit of a glow. Then I'm going to take that layer and bring the opacity down to about 10 to 12%, your personal choice. And of course, depending on how you shot on set. Now it's a lot softer. But I'm still not happy with it because it's softer everywhere, including the face. So no. So then I'm gonna mask it out and I'm gonna take a brush and I'm gonna take the brush over the face. I'm gonna take the brush over the hair, over the fingertips, over some of the hard lines of the clothing. And now actually pretty much almost through the entire body. Now we have the glow outside of her. She is crisp. And that's how I would do it. But I wanted to give it that little bit of a pop, and it's going to be a subtle, very, very subtle S-curve. That's it. That is it. That's how I would redo this photo shoot. But it's crazy because you might do this on set and then you're like, oh my God, what did Walid say? But I'm not available on YouTube. I post my videos, and you wish you can get a hold of me or someone else that has seen this video and they're trustworthy and they're honest and they're good people. That's why I'm asking you to join us in VBA. It's 100% free, and the little text right here shows you all of the benefits of VBA. I don't have to read it for you. You can pause it and read it. But I will let you know that VBA is linked down below in the description of the video, but also in the comments. I hope this helped you. I hope this helped you grow. I hope this inspires you to go try new things. My name is Walid Azami. My website is right there today. That's where we're going to put it. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye.